Okay, everyone. So today we're going to talk about inequalities, right? So inequalities are something that is not equal. It's unequal, right? So with these problems, we don't use an equal sign. We use actually 4 different signs are possible to use, right? So we're going to go through them. So the first one we're going to talk about, actually you can form with your left hand, as you can see here. So right now, take your left hand and form some scissors with your left hand. And if you notice, your left hand, look, this looks like that arrow and that arrow, but this one has a little line under it, right? This is what we call less than. So less than sign. This one is also less than, right? So let's start with this one first. Less than. So when something is less than, when we graph it, we do an open circle and we do an arrow to the left. So think of left, less, right? Open circle, arrow to the left. Left, less, right? So down here it says, okay, so that's less than. Okay? Now let's see the second one here. Now this one is also less than, right? This one's also less than. But if you notice, this one doesn't just have an arrow. This one has a little dash under. That's half an equal. So this one is less than or equal to. Less than or equal to is what they call this one. Less than or equal to. Now this one's a little different than the less than because look what happens with here. It's a closed circle and still arrow to the left. So closed circle and still arrow to the left, right? So with these numbers, when you're graphing on the number line, we're going to shade, if you notice both of these, open circle to the left, closed circle to the left. So we shade left. Left on the number line, right? We're going to shade left on the number line. So that's less than, right? With your, actually here, left hand. That's why we go left. If you notice, there's a lot of L's here. Left means less than, less, and you shade left, right? A lot of L's. Now, this one is you use your right hand. So if you take your right hand and you make scissors, like rock, paper, scissors, look at that. This arrow, you form an arrow, which looks like that one, and half of that one, right? So this one you form with your right hand. So this one is with your right hand. Sorry, I was going to say right hand. So this one is called more than sign. That's the more than sign. So the more than sign is open circle and, open circle and you graph to the right. Open circle, graph to the right. The opposite of the left, right? So this one here is also more than, but just like the other one, this one not only has an arrow, but it has a little line under it, which is half and equal. So this is more than or equal to. More than or equal to. And this one has a closed circle, but still shade to the right. Right? Closed circle, but still shade to the right. Right? So when we shade, we shade right on this one. Right? Shade right on the number line. So these are our two rules that we're going to remember, right? These are very important rules that we need to remember. Left hand means less than. Right hand means more than. Right? Less than, you open circle and you shade to the left. Less than or equal to is closed circle and shade to the left. More than is open circle and shade to the right. More than or equal to is closed circle and shade to the right. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Okay, one more rule on the bottom here. One more thing that I want you guys to remember that we will go over in the next lesson, but let's review it now. So, dividing or multiplying by a negative is the answer here. That goes in here. Negative. Flips the signs. So it's going to flip from this to that, or from that one to that one, and backwards, right? Backwards as well. They'll flip. But we'll get to that. When we get to that, I'll point that out. Okay? So let's do a couple of examples here so you guys can see what is happening. So here we're going to treat this just like any old regular one-step equation that everybody's used to, we're all used to doing, right? So we draw our line of separation and we say equal. So we want to get this P, we don't say equal, we say this symbol here, which is this one, right? This one just came down. Okay? Now, what is that one? What symbol is that? Well, let's look at our notes and see. What does this one look like? Which one of these four does this one look like? Like this one, right? So this is more than or equal to. More than or equal to. So we're going to bring our P down, just like before. Nothing changes. P. And we're going to move this -6 over to this side, and we're going to do that by adding 6, cross out 6, and we're going to say plus 6. So now a -24 and a +6 are not the same sign, so I have to subtract. So 24 minus 6 is 18. 18. But what kind of 18 though? Negative, exactly. Negative because 24 is negative and 24 is the bigger number, right? So I solved it. I got it. Perfect. But if you notice, the instructions say solve and graph each inequality. And why do we know it's an inequality? Because this is not equal here. This is greater than or equal to. So let's graph. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a line just like that. And on the line, you're going to write right in the middle, you're going to write your answer, which is negative 18, just like that. So now we have to figure out which way are we going to graph. Are we going to go left or are we going to go right? Is it going to be closed circle? Is it going to be open circle? So let's see again. Let's compare. Which one of these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, does yours look like? Take a look. Which one? Exactly. This one. So this says more than or equal to. Look what we do. We draw a dot and we graph to the right. So let's do that here. Let's draw our dot. I'm going to pick a different color. Let's draw our closed dot, and we're going to graph to the right. There you go. Now, what does this mean? This means, guys, that negative 18 is not the only answer. That means that all the numbers, including negative 18, and that are bigger, this goes forever and ever and ever to the right. That means that any number you pick that is at least negative 18 or bigger, because the numbers to the right are getting bigger, will make this true. So let's try. Think of a number that's bigger than negative 18. The easiest one to pick is 0. 0 is bigger than any negative number in the world, right? So 0 is bigger than negative 18. So if I plug in 0 in here, 0 is greater than, could do better than that, is greater than or equal to negative 18. Is this true? Is 0 bigger than or greater than or equal to negative 18? Yes. Yes, it is. 0 is bigger than negative 18. See? So any number that you pick that's bigger than negative 18 will make this statement true. In prior equations, it was only one answer that made it true. But here we have lots of answers to make this equation true. Okay? Let's try another example. I know it's a little confusing, but that's okay. So let's try this one out. Okay? So let's start off by drawing our line of separation just like before. Right? Only that in this case, we're going to do that symbol right there, not an equal sign, because look what's coming down, right? It's this symbol that's coming down, right? So now, what are we going to bring down? We're going to bring down our n. So this n comes down just like that. So that means that this 17 is going to come over. Oops. 17 is going to come over this way. And when it comes over, it becomes negative 17. So I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to say minus 17. So 19 minus 17 is 2. 2. Now, this is the answer. This is the solution. But what I need to do, guys, is I need to make a mirror here. I need to put a mirror, because the problem right now that I have is that my n is on the right side. See, this is the left and this is the right. And I don't want that. I want my n to be on the left. But right now, it's on the right side. So watch what I'm going to do. Okay? So I'm going to mirror. Imagine there's a mirror right here. If there was a mirror there, so let's draw the mirror actually. So there's a mirror right there. If I draw that mirror, that means that n is going to be first. What's going to happen to this little arrow here if it's a mirror? Have you noticed when you're standing in front of a mirror, your right hand, the mirror is your left hand, and your left hand in the mirror is your right hand, right? So everything flips. So this arrow is going to flip in the opposite direction. It's going to say that. And then the 2 stays the same. This is our solution right there. That is our solution. Okay? Now we can graph. So we draw our line. We put 2 in the middle with a little dash there. Now we need to know, what is this? What symbol is that? It's not equal. So we're going to use our notes. Right? What does this symbol look like? Does it look like that, like that, like that, or like that? What do you guys think? What does it look like? It looks like that, right? And that says less than or equal to, which means we draw a dark filled in circle and we graph to the left. So let's draw a filled in circle and graph to the left. Right? So that means that the answer is all the numbers that are less than 2, right? Because to the left, numbers are getting smaller, right? So this is 2, 1 is here, 0, -1, -2. They're getting smaller, right? So that means that I can pick any number that's less than 2, and this will be a true statement. So what number is less than 2? What's the easiest number that you can pick that's less than 2? Exactly, 0. So if I put 0 in here instead of n, is less than or equal to 2. And we say that. Is 0, ask yourself a question. Is 0 less than or equal to 2? Yes. 0 is less, right? Perfect. 0 is less. Okay. There you go. That's our inequalities lesson. If it seems tough right now, it's okay. We're going to practice. We're going to practice. As a matter of fact, let's do a couple of examples. Let's do 2 examples right here. Okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our line of separation. Just like that. And we're going to draw our inequality, right? So K is going to come down. So K. So that means I got to move this 8 over to the right. So it's going to become a -8. So -5 and -8 are the same signs. So I'm going to add. 8 plus 5 is 13. And it's a -13 because 8 is bigger and 8 is a negative. Right? So this is I solved it. That's my solution. Right? But I need to graph it. I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to put 13 in the middle just like that. So which way do I shade? Do I shade to the left or do I shade to the right? Well, use your hands. How do I make this symbol? Which hand can I use to make that symbol? My left hand or my right hand? Make the scissors. Which scissors do I make? Which hand do I make those scissors with? With my left, right? With your left hand. So left means less. Think left means less. And this one here has an equal sign under. So that means that this circle is going to be closed. Closed circle. And since I use my left hand to make these scissors, left is less. That means I got a shade left, just like that. And there is I solved it and I graphed it. I did both. All right, one more example here. Let's start off by drawing my line of separation. As always, I draw my inequality. And I'm going to get x by itself, right? X came down. That means that my negative 30 needs to go over and become a plus 30. So minus 30 goes over and becomes a plus 30. So negative 23 and 30 are not the same sign. So that means that I gotta subtract them. 30 minus 23 is 7. And it's a positive 7 because 30 is bigger and 30 is a positive. Now, we're almost done, but the problem is that my x is on the right. I need to make a mirror. So I'm going to make my mirror here. There's my mirror. And my reflection is going to be x. So let me change colors here. My reflection is going to be x. Remember, when I reflect, this arrow is going to flip. So I'm going to flip it and write it like that. And my 7 stays the same. Now this is my solution right there. Right? Now I need to graph it. So I'm going to draw my line. And I'm going to put my 7 in the middle. Now which direction do I go? Use your hands. Use your hands. Which hand do I do to make these scissors right here? Do I use my left hand or my right hand? Make scissors with both your hands. Which of these of your two hands does this look like? Exactly like your left hand. And left makes us think of less. Left makes us think of less. So since this has an equal sign under it, that means that I gotta do close circle. So I'm gonna do close circle. And left means less. That means I'm going to graph to the left. Just like that. All right. There you go. Those are a couple of examples of inequalities. Those are your notes for inequalities. Okay. You should be okay. We're going to take our time. We're going to practice slowly. And trust me, you will be able to understand all of this.